So I saw a rumour going around recently that they're going to make some rule changes just for the Monaco Grand Prix soon. Now this of course referring to the Monaco Grand Prix, one of the oldest and most prestigious events, not only on Formula One's calendar but also the motorsport calendar as a whole. However, despite its prestige, it has come under a lot of fire, a lot of criticism from a lot of people saying that frankly it is boring to watch. And it is kind of hard to disagree with that when it comes to most races, unless it rains or you get some sort of drama with a big crash and safety car pit stops or something like that. You don't really see any action during the Monaco Grand Prix because modern day Formula One cars are so heavily reliant on aerodynamics, and more importantly because they're so wide, it is very, very difficult to overtake around the streets of Monte Carlo, and the only overtakes you normally see during a Grand Prix weekend here are in the pits. But F1 is changing the game when it comes to the pit stop rules at Monaco, and not everybody's happy about it. Now, there's an article here on The Telegraph, so shout out to Tom Carey for covering this story. But I'm just going to go over what's being proposed, what's changing for the coming future when it comes to the Monaco Grand Prix. So let's just dive into this article, guys. Formula One has been accused of resorting to gimmicks after announcing plans to spice up the Monaco Grand Prix by forcing drivers to make at least 2 pit stops. Currently, you only have to do 1 if it's a dry race, and if it's a wet race, potentially none. Reaction to the plans from fans on social media range from those saying it was encouraging to try this to those arguing that enforcing this change was proof that the race needed to just be jettisoned altogether. Criticism has been growing in recent years that the historic race has become pedestrian, with overtaking close to impossible because of the combination of huge modern Formula One cars and the tight twisting street circuit in the Mediterranean Principality. It's great to see an F1 Chronicle video down there, but it's very distracting to have myself there on the screen. Chose to pause it there where I'm scratching my nose, but hey, anyway, check out that video if you want to learn about more about F1 pit stops. Thanks for promoting this video, MSN. Very, very appreciated as always. Last year's race was even more processional than usual. Teams are currently obliged to use 2 different compounds of tyre in any given dry race. That's a very clear detail you've left out there, mate. Poor, but in my opinion, shocking from the Telegraph. Go to the F1 Chronicle. We write much better articles than this. I'm just joking, of course. Or am I? An early red flag allowed the entire field to dive into the pits and change compounds, whereupon they completed the rest of the race on 1 set of tyres with minimal overtaking. Various solutions have been proposed to keep the race relevant. Writing for Telegraph Sport after last year's Grand Prix, former Jordan and Jaguar designer Gary Anderson argued that it should be possible to tweak the circuit, introducing a second hairpin turn before the tunnel section on reclaimed land. Anderson said that it would probably be only around an extra 500 meters in total, but it would be something that would give you an opportunity if it was laid out correctly. That would be my only tweak to the circuit. The rest of it is very demanding and its traditions should be protected. It can be a very good race. Red Bull team principal Christian Horner, however, said it was not possible to alter the circuit. Speaking after Tuesday's F1 Commission meeting in London, where the governing body, the FIA, F1 and the 10 teams all agreed to increase the number of mandatory pit stops in the race, Horner argued that the proposed changes were positive. I've just come from that meeting and basically the discussion was, Monaco, you can't change the layout of the circuit, he said. And of course, we have seen previously, particularly with these cars as big as they are now, the race is very much dictated by the Saturday. And what we saw last year was if you get a red flag early on and everyone just puts a new set of tyres on, it's very static. In a statement, the FIA said the plan would be further discussed at F1 Sporting Advisory Committee, but it is understood the plans as it stands would be for drivers to do 2 pit stops and use all 3 available compounds during the Monaco race. That should spice things up actually, but I'll speak about more of that in a moment. In the event of a wet race, drivers should still have to do 2 stops, although tyre choice would be more flexible. Stating that you have to use potentially all 3 compounds brings in another element, so it becomes a 2-stop race, Horner added. And it should rain as well. Should it rain as well, it would be mandatory to be a 2-stop as well, so it's unique for that race, and it's really due to the nature of the circuit. I'm not against these proposals. I'll just outright say I'm not against that really. I mean, yes, you could argue it's gimmicky, but the alternative is continuing, and I love Monaco. I think it should be on the calendar. I think driving the Monaco Grand Prix is something that should remain part of the Triple Crown, remain part of Formula One. But it cannot be denied that in modern Formula One, even though the cars are decreasing in size for a little bit for 2026. You know, they're still going to be too big to overtake. This is a problem that we've seen for a very, very long time. And before anybody says it, yes, it has never been easy to overtake at Monaco. It's always been renowned for being a very difficult to overtake track, even back in the 70s, you know, when the cars really started to get a little bit bigger because of the aerodynamics. It's never been a track that's easy to overtake, but that's Monaco, and that's the challenge, and that's why it should be on the calendar. It is a true test of driving skill, and only the best of the best managed to win that race, in my opinion. If you can do it around Monaco, you're something else. I mean, it's incredible, really. Anybody who's been to Monaco as well, been looking to go to Monaco, like myself, will know how amazing that track is and how actually tight and twisty it is. I've never seen Formula 1 there. I'd love to go do it one day. But yeah, it just viewing it in normal times just gives a perspective of how tight it is and how do those guys actually manage to pass anywhere on the track. Right now, it might well be downright impossible. Simple as that. That is something that cannot be ignored. So I think having that 2-stop would actually liven things up. And I think mandating that you've got to use 3 dry compounds for that one race is something that, again, it would shake it up. I imagine it would probably come in for this year. I don't know why they'd wait, to be honest. Everybody's in agreement, so we'll have to see what happens. We'll bring you the confirmation when it comes, guys, but it sounds like it's pretty much decided in principle. If the FIA, the governing body, Formula 1, and the 10 teams are all in agreement, I can't see anything stopping this. And I think, to be honest, it would make it better. It would. It would not resolve all the problems. You'd still get drivers really struggling to overtake, struggling to get past, but it would at least allow 2 opportunities throughout the race to overtake rather than just 1. And the fact that they have to use all 3 tyres means that you're going to get alternate strategies. You're not just going to get, you know, a medium, then a hard. You could get a soft, medium, soft, hard, something like that. It could be anything like that, or literally bolting the softs on for 1 lap right at the end. And ironically, I think the fastest lap point, that would have been an interesting thing around Monaco too, but that's gone for this year, unfortunately. But I think on the balance of things, Formula 1 did make that right decision there. But yeah, guys, let us know what you think about this in the comments below. Is it the right move to make Monaco a 2-stop race, or they just need to get rid of it altogether? I want to hear what you have to say about this in the comments below. And yeah, see you soon for some more F1 content here on the F1Chronicle.com, guys. Have a great day, have a great week. See you very soon.